We're back. And I would like to take you through all the brand new records I have collected in the past 10 or so months. Like over the course of 2022, what are the records that have entered my collection? So firstly, let's get out of the way. I got the sophomore record from Idols. This is Joy as an Act of Resistance. And I already own Brutalism on record. I believe Brutalism would have been in my last record collection update. And I now have Joy as an Act of Resistance as well. So exciting. I want to collect Idols all in chronological order. So next will be... Where'd the fly go? Next will be Ultramono, I believe, which is actually the record I discovered them through. I did not know about Idols at this point when this record came out. So I'm sort of going through the back catalogue and collecting all the Idols because they are now one of my favorite bands of all time and probably my current favorite band. I did see them live like a couple weeks ago here in Melbourne in Australia. Honestly, did not enjoy that concert. I did not like Idols live. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter because I really like them in their studio form. So I'll just keep listening to this and keep spinning it probably until the day I die. I really like Idols. They're post-punk, by the way, and they're really, really good post-punk. They're quite gritty, raw. They're sometimes political. You know, social commentary is sprinkled throughout their lyrics, especially in the earlier days, I find. Like their first album is easily my favorite, which is Brutalism. I also got Romero's Turn It On. This is actually definitely the oldest record that I've received out of all of these ones. Like I got this one the furthest back at the start of the year. They are a Melbourne band, I believe, and they did a release party, like a release concert, over on the north side of Melbourne, which I did go to, but the speakers were super loud, and honestly, I think I went deaf. I do try to listen to Melbourne music as much as I can. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the local music scene. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places. If you have any, like, Australian acts that you really like, please write them in the comments. Next, I got Fiesta, Herb Alpert, and the Tijuana Brass. This is a record that my dad would be extremely excited for me to own. Have I listened to this record yet? No, I actually wanted to listen to this record with my dad, so I need to get onto that. But this is, Herb Alpert is a guy that my dad is absolutely obsessed with, like on a level that concerns me a little bit. I've heard a few different cuts from Herb Alpert, like I've heard a few different songs that have definitely intrigued me. I've find it to be quite upbeat and exciting to listen to, but I don't know enough at all to really give you any idea of what's going on here. I would not be picking this up if it wasn't for my dad. Like my dad definitely has made Herb Alpert come up on my radar, and he is somebody that I want to listen to moving forward. I want to get more into Tijuana Brass, especially because I can find these records for quite cheap. He's pretty much everywhere. And I also got two other secondhand records. Before I get into some really juicy stuff that I'm very excited about, let me just take you through these two records quickly. So I also got the Sound of Music soundtrack secondhand. Got this for $15. I have not seen this in person before. I don't look at records very often. I'm not searching through records every day of the week, but when I do, I don't usually come across this. I thought it was quite funny, and I actually want to own more soundtracks in my collection, so I was like, okay, why not? And it is a soundtrack that I actually enjoy. I feel like there's a lot of classics on this record that I have a lot of fun with, and I did watch Sound of Music quite a lot growing up because it would always be playing on the TV. I would fall asleep eventually, but I would watch most of it. Then I also got a bit of a hefty guy here. Oh, what is even going on? I think this might be a double LP, that's why. But I got Electric Light Orchestra's Out of the Blue for $20. There is a song on this record that I really like. Sweet Talking Woman. Yes, I really like the song Sweet Talking Women. But I see this album around a lot. Like, a lot of people say that this record in general is good. The fact that I like Sweet Talking Women makes me feel like maybe there's a potential there for me and this record to bond and to have a good time together. So I might give this a spin soon. If you can't tell, I have not listened to these secondhand records yet. I'm a bit nervous when I buy secondhand, so I'm going to put it on. It's going to be like completely scratched and make me really sad. So a lot of the time I just don't throw them on. I just buy them because they're really cheap and I'm like, bit of pop rock. Correct? 80s? I don't know. But yeah, still need to listen to that. So those are the records I don't know too much about. I have too much to say about because we'll just see what happens once I give them a spin eventually in 5 years' time. Then next, I received 2 records from Victor, one of my subscribers, over the last year or so. He is very, very generous and kind to me, and I still feel like I don't really deserve it, but I am happy to receive anything he wants to throw at me because if it makes him happy, it makes me happy. So he did send me Iron Maiden's Self-Titled. I think this is their debut album. This is an album I want to react to over on my other channel. Yeah, I know I keep saying that. I know I keep saying oh, yeah, I want to react to this album. I want to react to this album. And then I haven't posted anything in like 10 months, but I truly am thinking about posting something over there very soon. And I am actually thinking about branching out past hard rock and past metal over on that other channel and react to a few albums within different genres. But if there is some albums that I still want to react to within metal, this would be one of them. I was very excited to receive this from Victor as well, because I actually very much prefer the songs that I've heard from Iron Maiden in the earlier days, in their first few records, when I believe they had a different singer. They had a different frontman. I can't tell you exactly what his name is. For some reason, I think he's Italian. I don't know where I'm getting that from. If I'm wrong there, it's been a while, okay? I'm a bit rusty with the metal stuff. I actually really have liked the songs I've heard off this and that I've heard off their second album as well. Killers, I believe. So I believe I'm gonna like this record. I have a good feeling here. But I still haven't listened to it because I want to react to it. The next record that Victor also sent me, which if you have watched one of my latest reading vlogs, you would have seen it. The Smiths' Louder Than Bombs. This is a live album, I believe, or a compilation album. Oop, God, I should know that. I believe it's a compilation album. This is the only album from the Smiths that I still wanted to own in my collection but did not have yet. I posted a Smiths video recently. I posted that Smiths video about 2 or 3 years ago now, but just going through all the records that my auntie had given me that were original Smiths pressings, and this was the only one I didn't have that I still wanted. Victor very kindly sent it to me. But yeah, I'm extremely happy to own this, really excited. I have been listening to Hatful of Hollow by the Smiths for a very long time. Like, I have been listening to that album nonstop for a while, like the past month or so, very much obsessed. Gotta move on to something different though from the Smiths. I feel like I gravitate too much towards Hatful of Hollow and not enough to the rest of their discography. So this is another compilation album that I may actually get a lot out of and maybe find a few, not find, but rediscover a few Smith songs that I don't usually gravitate towards because I am so much on the Hatful of Hollow train. Now we get into some juicy stuff that I'm really excited about. I was already pretty excited about the records Victor sent me, but I am extremely excited about this record. Absolute beauty is what this record is. This is the soundtrack from Howl's Moving Castle, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is directed by Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli. This is Japanese anime, and I am obsessed with Hayao Miyazaki. He is my favorite director of all time. The soundtracks are part of the reason why I love those movies so much. The soundtracks are composed by Joe Hisaishi, my dude. It's got the Obi strip once again, and I am collecting these records. I want to own all of my favorite soundtracks from my favorite movies when it comes to Studio Ghibli. There's Howl and Sophie, the front with the Obi strip, and the inside. Howl and Sophie again. Next we have Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. This is a record that I really needed, that has been bugging me for a while. It felt weird to have a record collection but not own this one. This is like one of my favorite jazz albums of all time. I really love Miles Davis as well. Apart from Dave Brubeck, he's probably my favorite jazz artist. It just felt weird not to own this one. It's so beautiful. It's got a bit of like a marble vibe to it if I really like show that off right now. Oh yeah, but no. I really don't own much colored vinyl. I'm not a huge colored vinyl fan, but every now and again when I get one, it's like a special treat to myself. And this is one that has excited me a lot because, you know, it's called Kinda Blue and I got it on blue wax. This is a record that I will be throwing on to study to, 110%. To study, to read to. It's absolute perfection, this record, 10 out of 10. Next, I bought Leon Bridges' Coming Home recently for myself. I did a little birthday treat for myself and I got a couple records. This is one of them. I've already thrown this in a MoFi sleeve. I'm trying to sleeve my records properly. Bit of a big feat for me. I got like 170 records. Most of them are not sleeved very well at all. It's going to be a bit of a process, but I'm slowly getting through it. So this one's properly sleeved, which is great. And Leon Bridges is a blues R&B singer. I don't know what to call him exactly. He's very soulful. Maybe soul music. Maybe that's it. Singer-songwriter. He has a beautiful voice that is just so smooth. And I love a lot of the picks here. Like River, I think, is the last song on this album, and that's easily my favorite song. It is absolutely beautiful. But I also love the song Lisa Sawyer a lot on this record, and I love Smooth Sailing as well. And I really like a lot of songs on this record. It's a very easy listen and easily my favorite record by him. I don't really gravitate to much else by Leon, but I really like this album a lot and I highly recommend it. I also got Nostalgia Ultra. I got a bootleg of Nostalgia Ultra, because this is not actually properly out on any label. And I got it on clear wax. The thing is, this sounds not very good at all. I really should have looked up on Discogs before I bought it, but I should not just be buying bootlegs just because I'm getting excited about Frank Ocean. I've been throwing this on and it just really doesn't sound very good compared to my other records, unfortunately, and I would not recommend this as a purchase for anybody out there, especially because I bought it for quite a lot of money. But, you know, it's still cute to own a Frank Ocean record, especially because you can't really get any of his records properly on any label. I would love to own Channel Orange. Channel Orange is my favorite record by him, but I think I really need to find a pressing of that actually sounds good, because there's no way I can listen to Channel Orange sounding as bad as how bad this record sounds, honestly. Next, oh my gosh, I am ending with a bang here. These last 3 records are free for free, but I got Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino. This is so exciting right now. I am blown away by this. This album looks amazing in person. I am so happy to own this record. This is one of the records where, honestly, a must own for me on a personal level. Like, this probably isn't a record that everyone should have in their collection, but I should definitely have this record in my collection. I love Childish Gambino. I already own Because the Internet, which is the record he released before this one, I believe, if I'm not missing anyone in my brain. The crazy thing is like, he jumped genres. That's why I feel like I'm maybe missing something in the middle here, but he went from like rap hip hop with Because the Internet to funk. Both of them are amazing in my opinion. I love both those records so much. I think this guy's a genius. I don't think his latest record is the best thing ever, but I really love this album and I really love Because the Internet, and now I own both, so I pretty much own all the Childish Gambino that I could want on record, so I'm very happy. This probably has a bit more playability though. I would say this album is a bit more of like a crowd pleaser than Because the Internet is. The pressing I specifically own of Because the Internet though has like a screenplay in it. I got it back when like it originally dropped, and that record has actually gone up a lot in value because the repressing doesn't have the screenplay in it. But this is more just like a whatever. This is just like a repressing, I believe, because this album came out quite a while ago. God, is there anything? Oh wow. Okay, Childish. That's pretty much it though. No gatefold, no nothing. Just a nice shot of him licking his lips. The penultimate record that I have here is Tyler Creator's Igor. Oh my gosh. Another record that I wouldn't say everybody needs to have in their collection, but I definitely needed to have this album in my collection. I love this guy. Similar thing to Childish Gambino, I already have a record by Tyler. I have the album Goblin, which is my favorite record by Tyler. Not because it's any good, but because there's a lot of nostalgia there. Like, I fell in love with Tyler during that time, like during the Yonkers era. I also love the album Flower Boy. I love his newest record, Call Me If You Get Lost. But this album, Igor, even though it's probably not one of my favorites, technically it's probably my 4th favorite album by him, I really respect this album. He really blew up from this. I mean, if he could blow up any more than he already was. Really hit, like, pure stardom, I think, with this record. I love the song What's Good. I love the song You Don't Love Me Anymore. And overall, what I'm hoping will happen is I listen to this album on vinyl and it just hits me different. I also love that this is matching my mic. This is absolutely so cute right now. And the last record I got, I mean, why am I ending with this record? I actually don't exactly know what this is. An album that my best friend bought me for my birthday. It's another Studio Ghibli record. It's the Totoro soundtrack. The only problem is I don't, because it's all in Japanese, I really don't know if this is the Image soundtrack, if this is the Image album, or if this is the proper soundtrack. There are pretty much 2 versions from each movie that are released, the Image version and the proper soundtrack, and I can't tell because it's all in Japanese which one this is. I am excited still because this is Totoro. I love the art on the front of this album. Like, this might not actually be from the movie itself, it'd be a bit more of like a storyboard design from it. I don't know, I can't, if you can sort of tell, it has a bit more of like a sketch vibe to it. I'm in love with this. I'm in love with Hayao Miyazaki and Joe Hisaishi right now. Like, being on the back of this car, like, can I just put this up on my wall right now? And let me open this up. I haven't opened up this record yet because I have honestly just received this one. It seems like this might be the Image one because it's not a gatefold like the rest of them. It's only the 1 disc, while all the other soundtracks I've received so far, which have been the proper soundtracks, were 2. They were double LP. This is a single LP. So I believe I have the Image album right now from Totoro. I'll have to get the soundtrack as well, but I'm gonna have double Totoro, which is sort of fun. And I'm actually interested to see what is on this guy because I know the soundtracks well, but I don't know if I know the Image album's music very well at all, so I'll see what's happening here. The other thing I really like about this record is the obi strip is a lot thicker. I really like the thick obi strip. I don't know why. I'm a bit obsessed with obi strips. I'm hoping to visit Japan next year as well, and I really want to get some good records when I'm over there, just a bunch of obies. So that's all the records that I've collected in the last year, that I received in the last year, that I bought. That's my record update. Let me know what you think of the Ghibli, and I'll see you soon for my next video. Bye.